Voice for I am your host, Jamila Gamble. I'm clearly in giggles and I'm making faces, and you'll find out in a minute why. If you want to get in touch with me, because I love hearing from you guys, social media is below, facebook.com/Miss Jam Gamble. And you can always tweet me at Twitter at Miss Jam PCCS. While you're watching the show, be sure to tweet and use hashtag S5AVFA because we love your feedback. So I'm rocking this tee. I'm in giggles only because Michael William Stark is here from Making Faces.
I love that t-shirt. You have excellent taste.
Thank you. We're twins. How did this happen?
I know.
Where do you come from?
Well, from Making Faces Land originated in New Westminster, British Columbia.
And how did it come to be?
Well, you can't be this handsome by nature.
No.
You probably figured that out.
I did.
So I was born at the time of my birth in New Westminster, British Columbia. I was apparently the most severe cleft lip and palate case in BC, which meant that I was facially disfigured and, as I grew up, very vocally distorted. And so, being a masochist, I ended up majoring in theater and becoming a voiceover actor. So,
But I'm ching.
yeah,
Love it.
how did that happen? So really what Making Faces was is a combination of my childhood growing up with that situation of being very difficult, combined with what I did for a living, which is, for the most part, improv comedy and voices for cartoon
Before
shows.
we venture down the blossoming stage, for those who don't know what a cleft palate is, can you explain what that is?
Yeah, I was born with, it was called a bilateral cleft lip and palate. So this whole area here was open and a hole in the roof of my mouth. So I could hardly make any consonant sounds, or, it was very difficult.
What was school like?
Well, it was tough anyway, but I went to, as I call it, Our Lady of Perpetual Humiliation.
Forgive him, Father.
Yeah, my very first grade 1 teacher used to like to keep me after school and smack me around, so it didn't do a lot for my confidence.
Wow.
On the other hand, I made lifelong friends. My best friends are still the guys I met in grade 1, grade 2.
Nice.
So, yeah.
So you took your tragedy and you turned it into triumph?
Well, I give a corporate talk called Let Your Passion Overwhelm Your Fear, and that's really what I did. I realized that these were the cards I was dealt with. I was dealt, but if I want to continue on in life and have fun, I've got to play the game with whatever I've been given. So, and then luckily surgeries happened, and fortunately I had a love of music and comedy, and I think because I was singing all the time, Beatlemania happened when I was about 7. So I think that really did help my voice develop, and then I ended up majoring in theater of all things. And
So tell me how Making Faces is helping children who also have cleft palates.
well, first of all, that's the thing, is that they know I have walked the walk. I've made the journey that they're making, and they can see. Well, as I always say, if this monkey can do it, you can do it. And so they see that I'm somebody that's had success in a field that
Right.
isn't always very forgiving. So what I do is, we build this atmosphere of acceptance and fun. So really, I use improv games and improv comedy to build day-to-day life skills, like making eye contact, having a nice big voice, and being proud of who you are. But we all do it. We do it in a fun environment where we just have fun doing it.
Which I love the sound of that. And I love that there's opportunities for children to strengthen those skills that are crushed because of society. But I feel like society needs the fixer-upper. What words do you have to people who make children feel less of themselves because they happen to have a facial difference?
Well, aren't we all different in some degree?
Yeah.
I just feel like it's this journey that we're all on. Why not make it easy on all of us? So kindness just goes a long way. And some of the most interesting people I've met happen to be the kids that I work with. So if I didn't accept these people and bring them into my life would be a lot less rewarding.
So tell me about a success story from a child that stood out to you, that started off, and what had happened at the end.
Well, I've had children that have become the school valedictorian, or another child that actually became a public speaker for a living, and another got accepted for theater school. But for me, it's the day-to-day things that happen right away. I remember one little boy coming up to me after one workshop saying, "Michael, Last week I got called up to the front of the class to talk, except I wasn't called up. I put my hand up. He said, normally I would sit in the back of the class and keep my head hidden and hope she didn't pick on me, but this time I put my hand up and went right up. And it's
Ah.
those little day-to-day changes that I really, that really excites me.
And that's through your workshops,
That's
right?
through the
How
workshops.
long do your workshops run for?
They can be, for example, I'm going to Boston in a couple of weeks for a one-day workshop,
Wow.
5 hours. But it could be, I like to do ongoing workshops, so sometimes I'll run an 8-week program where I'll come back to your town for 8 weeks in a row and just keep reinforcing the behaviors. And I like to, it's improv, so I can pretty much fit it into whatever time schedule you need. A
Sure.
weekend workshop, a week-long workshop, monthly workshops. It can all be done.
Wow. What don't you do, Michael? What don't you do?
What don't I do?
But basically, though, I love what you do, hence
Thank
why
you.
you're on the show. I feel that there's not enough awareness for facial differences. Big movement in the States, I've noticed. And then when we connected, you were the first person I've heard of in the years I've been in the field that is actually providing a voice. And
Yes, there are groups that do help families find surgeons, and there are groups that help them in various ways like that, finding connecting families and whatnot. Mine is the only one I know of that's very hands-on.
yeah,
Learn the skills, and it's taught by somebody who has grown up the way they're
yeah,
growing
you,
up.
like you said, you walk the walk.
And as well, on my board of directors, I have Adam Bighill, who plays for the
Yes,
BC Lions. Cleft lip and palate, probably, well, one of the greatest athletes I've ever met. And
that's how we became in touch.
that's
The
right.
power of social media.
Yeah,
I
so
saw
Adam's
him.
got on
Yeah.
board now, and hopefully we'll be teaching some workshops with Adam out in Vancouver and seeing. He's a great
Nice.
defensive player. Let's see how his improv skills are.
I like to point out that my improv skills are pretty impressive.
I bet they are. I bet they
No,
are.
no, there's no bet. You know. You know they
I know
are.
I stand corrected.
How can we as a community support Making Faces?
You could visit us at makingfaces.ca and donate online. You can tell people about Making Faces. Perhaps you know somebody who is, and now we've branched out. We don't only work with children of facial difference. I've worked with children with motor skill problems. I've done corporate workshops, getting people to be creative and think creatively and open up.
What's the benefits of improv in the corporate and school setting?
Not censoring yourself. You've probably been at meetings where they want you to throw out ideas and people are hesitant to
Yeah.
because they want to be stupid. I say, hey, celebrate stupid. Throw out any idea you can.
Right.
Because somebody else is going to take that idea and run with it, turn it into something great. So I think really we just got to not censor each other so much and encourage
I agree with that.
our foolishness, I guess is what we do.
Certain foolishness. As
Certain
long as it's
foolishness,
not
yeah.
ignorant,
That's right.
go ahead, run
Yes.
wild. Speaking of encouragement, where do you see Making Faces in the next couple of years?
I'd like to see it. I'd like to have chapters in various parts of not only the country, the world. And as I say, I'm teaching in Boston in a couple of weeks. We'll be in New Orleans, out in Vancouver. But I've been invited to Indonesia. So wouldn't that be great to have a little Making Faces camp out in Indonesia?
And then you're going to obviously have your Making Faces team coming down with you, aka Jam.
Oh, of course, you're going to be there, yeah.
Right.
Of course,
Yeah. We talked about this.
Any exotic places I go in the world, yeah, it's in the contract that you come along. Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
natural.
of course.
But going back to community, I really want to stress the point of just because somebody has a facial difference, that this is not something to point and laugh at. Like, I've seen some brutal things on social media of a video one time of a woman who was at a bar. A guy approached her and she made her face look disfigured.
I know the.
I saw that
yeah.
video and it literally turned my stomach. Like, what can we as a community do to stop things like that being encouraged?
Just be a little more sensitive to it. We make fun of each other for any difference, right? I mean,
Yeah.
where does racism come from? Where does, or one religion hates another religion?
Yeah.
One sect of one religion hates the other sect in one religion.
Yeah.
Where does any of that come from? I think really what we want to do is build a world of acceptance and celebrate our differences.
And Making Faces does that.
We do that.
As you can see, I'm proudly wearing my Making Faces tee, which you could also order as well. And as you can see, Michael has a variety of faces here, and that's the whole point. Make a variety of faces.
That's right.
Doesn't matter which face you make, just make one that suits you.
Yeah. And were you ever given a shirt or anything by your aunt or whatever for Christmas? You really hated it and you hated being seen in it?
Nope.
I had that
I have not
happen
had that
to me.
experience.
So think of that. Think of the time by the time you had to go out with the big zit on the end of your nose, and just think about how you felt, and multiply that a millionfold, and realize that you can't take off the shirt. The shirt is you.
Yeah.
And so we work with what we are given. We
Mm-hmm.
work with what we are given, but I think what we are given is we're celebrating. If I hadn't been born the way I was born, I wouldn't have created Making Faces.
No.
And I doubt I would have become an actor. I doubt I would have done voiceovers.
Mm-hmm.
My interests would probably have gone elsewhere. So I think our differences are what make us strong in the long run.
You see, and that was a perfect end to this beautiful interview. Again, our differences, and we as a society like to pick at differences, but a lot of these differences are worth celebrating. Michael, thank you. Again, find Michael. Information's below for corporate events, speaking engagements, workshops for kids, helping you celebrate you and tap into that hidden potential. We're not done here on A Voice for All. Another interview is coming after the break. Don't forget to stay in touch with me at Rogers TV Peel, at Miss Jan PCCS, and using hashtag Rogers TV Peel and hashtag S5AVFA. I'll catch you guys after the break. Thanks, Michael.
Thank you, Jan.
Welcome back to A Voice for All. I am your host, Jamila Gamble, and if you're just tuning in, shame on you. We had a good interview before, but we have another one lined up ready for you. If you want to get in touch with me, information is below. Be sure to send your feedback, comments, show suggestions. I always love hearing from you guys. And don't forget to always use hashtag Rogers TV Peel and hashtag S5 for A Voice for All. So speaking of the power of connections, I came across my next guest because of social media. So please help me in welcoming Patrick Bram from Reena, who I've heard so much about, but never have actually met yet.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a real treat for me because I've heard of Reena over the years, but
Right.
have not had the opportunity to come to one of the programs or to support someone from Reena. So this is great. This is great.
Well, I'm very happy to be here.
Tell me how Reena supports our community.
Okay. Reena supports over 1,000 different individuals with developmental disabilities all throughout the GTA. We offer residential services, respite services. We have an outreach department. We offer day programs, and we offer vocational programs.
What don't you guys do based on that list?
We're very busy. Yeah.
And what's the need like, are you finding in our community? Do you find that there's wait lists of families who are waiting to get into a Reena program, or are you guys always open and ready to accommodate?
There are wait lists
Yeah.
for a number of the programs. We do offer fee-for-service programs as well. Two of my programs, the programs that I supervise, are located in downtown Toronto, and we do have room. We have room for more people if there are interested.
Tell us more about the program.
Okay, terrific. So I supervise two different programs. One is called Pathways South, and one is called Channels South. Pathways South is a 5-day-a-week recreational program located on the U of T campus.
Okay.
And really, it's a recreational and life skills program for traditionally young adults who are looking for a fun environment to get involved in the community, to build their skills, and to socialize with their peers.
I love that. And the other program?
The other program is, it's similar, but it has a little bit more of a vocational slant. So we're really looking to offer vocational supports and job training for individuals with developmental disabilities that are looking to get into the workforce.
Job training is something that I'm very passionate about because I find that society, and I say it all the time, is very ignorant towards people with disabilities even having a job. In what ways do you prepare your clientele?
Well, it's all extremely individually based. So I find that maybe someone I'm working with doesn't have a goal of paid employment necessarily. In that case, we'll find out exactly what they're looking for. Maybe they want a volunteer position. Maybe they want to join us for group volunteering outings, and we'll support them in doing that. But for those who are looking to get into the workplace, we'll start from scratch. So we do an employment action plan. We identify what the need is. We help people build their resumes.
Right.
We help people build reference lists. And we will offer on-site and off-site job coaching as well.
I'm curious about the resumes. Like, what information would you be placing on it? Like the previous skills that they've been working on, or what they are wanting to do, just for viewers who are curious?
Well, it really depends on, again, the individual and what their experience is. If we find that maybe they have not had a lot of experience, then that's one of the goals. So we partner with a number of different agencies in the downtown and surrounding areas where we will go in as a group. And through those group volunteering experiences, we can make connections with potential employers or with references and really build up those resumes and build up those skills.
So in terms of vocational, and now you were saying fitness, what other things is Reena doing to support clientele in our city?
Well, we do offer we do have residential support, so we have a number of group homes where people will reside. And we are also offering a number of community-based outreach options. So we have, Reena bowling nights.
There's a bowling night?
Sure, there is.
I'm really good at bowling.
Oh, you should join us sometime.
I will have to do. I'm a little competitive. Just warning you.
Oh, we have a Special Olympics basketball program as well. We have a program called Cafe Lundi, and that gives, so it's Monday nights, and it gives people an opportunity, independent adults, an opportunity to go out and socialize. So maybe they'll go to play pool somewhere, or they'll go to a movie, maybe go to a restaurant, those types of activities. Yeah, really just trying to provide as many opportunities for people to get together and build that community.
Because social skills and just sense of belonging is such a key thing, whether you have, a disability or not. It's a big need. With the people you work with, what do you find their needs are? What are they wanting more from in terms of community support?
Well, I find that our group in particular is, we were just speaking about, is extremely social. So they really want to get out there. They really want to get into the community. So we are always looking at ways of just getting more involved. And also my group, they really want to pitch in. For example, we're partnering with another agency right now, and one thing that we're looking at is accessibility. So what we do is we go to different businesses that are not accessible, that could use maybe a ramp. As you find, there's a lot of storefronts maybe with a 6-inch lip, right?
Yep.
So the organization is called Stopgap, and working with Stopgap, we go to different businesses, and we will present to the business owners the benefits of making their business accessible by just having a ramp. And then we build them a ramp, we paint the ramp, and then we'll deliver the ramp.
All of that? Wow.
And that's with, again, the organization is Stopgap that we're partnering with.
Now, how do you find these businesses' attitude is when a group comes in to like, hey, by the way, you guys are really accessible. We can help you.
For the most part, people are very willing to listen to the pitch. And the argument is why would you turn away business?
Absolutely.
And it's not only people with mobility challenges that can benefit from a ramp, perhaps parents with a stroller, or for delivery people, or for whatever reason. But the economic incentive to make a business accessible is a strong draw. So we find that once we once we're speaking with the business owners, they see things our way and that they're on board.
On last week's episode, we were talking about accessible attitudes. So since you and Reena go out and do a lot of community work, how accessible do you find business owners' attitudes or just people on the street towards your group when you guys are out and about?
I find that in general, everybody is very positive, towards our group.
I'm glad to hear that.
There are still challenges with equal employment, obviously, and I think that the tide is turning there as well. And again, the economic incentives towards tapping into a population that is underutilized in the workforce, but who is capable of doing just as good a job as anybody else.
Absolutely.
The economic incentive is there, and people will, I think, slowly start to realize that as we are more involved in the community, and you're putting faces, attaching that to the concept of disability, but really in the workplace, we are able to do all the jobs just as well.
If people were just more open to it.
Well, sure. I mean, oftentimes the accommodations that are required to give the person the chance to be successful on the job are easy, or either it's easy to accommodate, or it might not be as difficult as one might think. So we're not talking about overhauling the physical space to the tune of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
We're talking about small, like, for example, like the ramps that can be provided.
Something small but so powerful.
Exactly, sure.
In terms of the community, what can we do to support Reena and other groups?
Well, that's a great question. I think just going into a situation with a positive attitude. I think attitudinal barriers still do exist, but if people with developmental disabilities are being treated just as anybody else would be treated, then I think we're taking a step closer to universal accessibility.
And in terms of donating or volunteering, are those doors open as well?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So Reena Foundation is our charitable arm, and you can viewers could look into that. We do have a number of fundraising activities and fundraising events. We have the Striking for Reena bowling tournament, and that's an fully inclusive bowling tournament.
Love it.
And that's going to be a lot of fun, and historically has been
Absolutely.
has been
Who
a lot
doesn't
of
love
fun.
bowling?
Right, exactly. And we do have a volunteer department, and they're always looking for enthusiastic volunteers who want to get involved.
You see? There's so many ways you guys can get involved, and one of the things we love to do here in A Voice for All is encourage you to connect with our guests. It's one thing to hear the story here on the segment, but it's another thing to go on their website. All their information is below, whether you want to volunteer, whether you want to donate, you want to go to their bowling event that's taking place. So many ways, and I'm grateful that there's organizations like Reena in our community that provide opportunity, social gatherings, and just feeling a part of something. That's the key thing, feeling a part of them. So if you want to connect with Reena and Patrick, their information is below. I really encourage you to reach out, learn more about them. And if you have any further questions, you can always get in touch with me at Ms. Jan PCCS, at Rogers TV Peel. Hashtags, websites, Facebook, everything is below. I love hearing from you guys. And because of you, I hear about groups like this. So thank you for being a community member. Thank you for being a Community Connect. And I will catch you guys next week on A Voice for All. Another great episode. Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you.
Thank you to my viewers. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week.